Hi, in today's video, we are going to talk about what you need to do one day prior to US CMA exam. But mainly, I'm going to give you a walkthrough of my own routine that I followed for the last 24 hours before the exam. But also, main agenda of this video is giving you three major important points that you need to note down. These 3 points are: number one, the study that you need to take care of before the exam. Let's say revision part one day before the exam. Second is hygiene factors. What documents you need to carry, what kind of calculators are allowed inside the exam, these kind of questions. And number 3 is simple FAQs, something as simple as, do we get a break during the exam? Can we carry food to the exam hall? What kind of things we need to be careful about? Without much further ado, let's start. And if you're new to the channel, then hi, my name is Aditya Shelar. I'm a certified CMA, FRM, and I've completed my MBA from IIM Lucknow. I'm the founder and CEO at FinStreet Education, where I also teach CMA program. I have more than 6 years of corporate experience and I love teaching CMA. Let's start. Now, starting with the study routine part that I followed for last 24 hours before my CMA exam. I'll be very honest over here. I have a technique that you might not agree with, but this is something that has worked for all the professional exams where I've appeared. I actually stopped studying 24 hours before my exam time, which means if my exam is on, let's say, 31st Jan, at 12:30 pm. On 30th January, 12:30 pm, I used to stop my studying completely, mainly for 3 reasons. Number 1, if I've given myself 6 months, 9 months, 12 months, I have given myself ample of time to prepare for the exam. Then what difference is going to make this last 24 hours? Second thing is, and here is my major reason behind this. See, when I used to appear for my 10th, 12th or BCom level exams and I used to revise for last 24 hours, let's say I've revised 50% of the curriculum in last 24 hours. The remaining 50% which I haven't revised, that used to make me anxious. I used to feel like I have forgotten that thing. I have completely, skipped those concepts, and somehow I'm not going to be able to, recall those concepts while writing my exam or writing my answers. And that created next level of stress or anxiety, which is really bad for your performance, actual performance. Another thing, I used to tell myself a story that Aditya, this is, just one of the exams. This is not end of the world. If you fail this, there are 10 different exams. There are, bigger things you have to achieve in life. So don't worry. This is just an exam. You have prepared enough. You are confident enough. Go and sit for the exam. So this is you have to do a lot of self-talk. See, these are professional exams, to some extent, difficult exams. So you have to be confident enough. You can't afford to be anxious. You can't afford to be nervous, because if that happens and if you blank out in your exam, that's a huge loss. So number 1 thing you have to remember is be confident about your exam. One thing that I do is stop studying. Might not be necessary that you have to stop studying as well, but focus on the part that you have to tell yourself that you're completely prepared. Don't be under a notion that you're not prepared and still going for the exam. Very important. Now coming to the second part about some hygiene factors, do's and don'ts. Now to give you a personal experience, I stay in Pune. We don't have our exam center, Pro Metric Center in Pune. It's in Mumbai. So what I used to do is travel one day prior to the exam, and this is something I've learned out of a very difficult experience. See, I used to book my exam for 12:30 slot, and for one of the exams, I left somewhere around 8 am, 7:30 am in a public transport. There's something called as Shivneri. It takes you from Pune to Mumbai in, let's say, 3 to 4 hours. So I sat in, I think, 7 am or 6:30 am bus, and I was expecting 10, 10:30, maximum 11 I'll be there. So 12:30 I can easily go and sit for the exam. Somewhere around 9, the bus got punctured. It was at the same location for 1 hour. Luckily, there was another bus coming from behind and we were transferred to that bus. So instead of 10:30, I arrived at the destination at 11:30 am. So lucky enough, it was just 1 hour prior to the main exam. But for my next part, I made it a point that I visit Mumbai one day prior to my exam. I have a good night's sleep. And with a fresh mind and complete preparation, I go to the exam center. So it is highly advised that if your exam center is maybe 2 or 3 hours away from your home, and if you have an option of traveling to that place and having an overnight stay, please do that. There can be instances, accidents or any other thing that can be a hurdle during travel and might impact your exam attempt. Coming to the documents that you need to carry, or rather what will be your overall routine during that exam time. See, ideally reach at your exam location 30 minutes prior to your slot. So if your slot is at 12:30, you should be at the exam center at least by 12 pm. Better practice is reach there by 11:45. So 45 minutes to your exam time. Once you enter the exam hall, there will be a security guard outside who will only allow the students or candidate to step in. So if you have a parent, brother, sister, sibling, anyone coming along with you, they will have to stay outside the exam center. Entrance is the max point where they can accompany you. Once you enter that building, you have to go inside the Prometric Center. First thing they will do is do a verification where you have to produce your government ID. Then only they can start the remaining process. So in terms of your government ID and mainly the hall ticket, see, once you register for the exam, means once you actually pay for the exam fee, you will get an email with a receipt of payment, plus there will be a confirmation letter or an appointment letter sent to your email. You have to carry that appointment letter. Now I carried it in my phone, but I also saw that other students were carrying it in a printed format, which is actually good. So my recommendation would be carry a printed appointment letter or a confirmation letter. You'll have a screenshot over here that will show you how the confirmation letter looks like. Please carry that later and show it at the entrance of your Prometric Center. Over there, you also need to produce government IDs. Now, what is requirement around government IDs? Well, here it how it goes. There are two categories of IDs that you need to produce. One, if you have primary category of document, which mainly includes passport or driving license. Driving license in proper condition. If your photo is not visible, if your name is not visible, it won't be considered valid. So if you have either passport or driving license, you don't need anything else. Just one government ID would be enough because this is from primary category. If you are producing documents from secondary category, which mainly includes PAN card, Aadhaar card, voter ID or bank ATM debit card, credit card. So let's say if you have PAN card and Aadhaar card, you need to show both. If you have bank ATM debit or credit card, along with this you need to either produce Aadhaar card or any combination of these documents, but you need to produce two documents. Be careful about it. Also, one important note, please don't carry a printout. The document has to be an original one. So you have to carry your actual passport, actual Aadhaar card or actual PAN card. Don't carry a photocopy or a Xerox copy. That won't be allowed. Secondly, your name should match exactly with the printed name on your confirmation letter or appointment letter. Now there can be discrepancy around your surname, father's name, and number of things. So you have to do a very simple thing. If you have any discrepancy, send an email to IMA saying that, by the way, while sending an email, attach your passport or attach your Aadhaar card and simply tell that this is my registered name with government officials. Please change my name on IMA portal to match with my government record. So it has to match, and IMA is very flexible around it. It takes around, let's say, 2 to 3 weeks to complete this process, but make sure that the name exactly matches with your government ID. That is very important. Moving on, coming to calculators or what kind of calculators are allowed. Well, I've displayed the list of allowed calculators on your screen. Mainly calculators from Texas and Hewlett-Packard HP are allowed for your exam. But please note the normal calculators which you use for your BCom exam, Chartered Accountancy exam, those calculators are also allowed. You can carry that to your exam. You don't have to carry any rough paper, pen, pencil. It will be given during your exam time. So you just have to simply carry a calculator. Now, on a healthy side, I used to carry 2 calculators. Why? Well, I used to think that if I'm really unlucky, my cell would run out or my calculator would stop working or it would break or something might happen. So on a safer side, I used to carry 2 calculators. There is no limit on how many calculators you can carry to the exam. Another point, at FinStreet, I kind of push my students to use Texas BA calculator, and there are 2 versions of this calculator. One is plus, second is professional. Don't carry professional level calculator. Professional level calculators are not allowed. Just simple plus level calculators are allowed for US CMA exam. I have also displayed the policy on your screen. You can read it over here. Why this calculator is helpful? Well, the calculator mainly acts like an Microsoft Excel embedded in a calculator. So when we talk about formulas for NPV, IRR, break-even point, standard deviation, these kind of numbers, you don't have to recall the formula. You need to know the logic. But if you have this calculator, you can do valuation level questions, amortization level questions on the calculator itself. You don't need a manual calculator and lot of rough work. If we talk about the difference between having a Texas calculator versus a normal calculator, it will make a difference of just 5 to 10 minutes. If you have a Texas calculator, there are some calculations you'll be able to do faster. If you are using a normal or manual calculator, there are 4 or 5 steps which you will have to do additionally. That's it. There are a lot of students who have cracked this exam using a normal calculator, so there's no harm in it. But if you can afford it and if you are open to learning new things, using better technology during your exam, go ahead with Texas calculator. Also, this is not a paid promotion. Texas is not paying me to say these things. I'm just saying it out of my personal experience. Now let's assume that you have entered your exam hall. There's verification that is completed. You will be given a small key to a locker. You can go up to that locker. You can keep your bags, whatever you have carried, everything inside that locker. Now one more additional, very important thing. See, when I went to the Prometric center during my exam, I observed the AC temperature was set at 23 degrees, which is very cold for me. I can't survive under this weather. And when I requested the exam coordinator, they said that this is a standard rule. We cannot change temperature just because you are feeling cold. And I was pretty much, like this during my exam. I was feeling very cold. So what you can do is please wear a hoodie or thick clothes where you won't feel much cold, or carry a sweater, extra sweater. If it's too cold for you, you can step out, wear the sweater. If it's not too cold, keep it outside. No issues. But yeah, that is one more thing I just wanted to highlight while going to the exam. Another thing you can carry to your exam is food. Now, for a total duration of 4 hours, let's say even 3 hours for MCQs, 1 hour for case study, you might feel hungry. There's a lot of intense thinking you have to do. And frankly speaking, I am someone who needs 2 minutes, 5 minutes break. So we can take that break. The catch is that your timer won't stop. So out of 4 hours, you will have only, let's say, 3 or 50 minutes. If you take 10-minute ka break, you lose out on that time. But if you're someone like me who needs some, let's say, glucose shot in the sense, not literal shot, you can carry chocolate. I used to carry sneakers. So if you want to carry something like that, please carry it to your exam hall. You don't need to carry a water bottle. They do have water facility over there. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So again, coming back to our story, our verification is done. There's a key given to a locker. You go up to that locker, you can keep all your belongings over there, your mobile phone, your bag, everything. No one is going to steal it. You are allowed to carry that key inside the exam hall. Now here's a catch. If you want to eat, as I said, I am someone who needs a glucose shot. So if you need to eat during the exam, don't keep your food inside the locker. There is a waiting room which has that locker. From waiting room, you move to another waiting room which is just outside your exam hall. So over there's a table kept where you can keep your belongings which you want to access during the exam. So you need to carry that food, sneakers bar, whatever, inside another waiting room where you can keep it on a table. Now, one interesting thing, see, there's no security guard over there to look after whatever is kept. So during one of my exams, I came outside and I observed someone has eaten my chocolate. And I went to the exam coordinator saying that someone stole my chocolate. She laughed and she said, "You also steal someone's chocolate." So that was a very foolish or funny thing. But I did that. There was a dairy milk, so I missed out on my sneaker, but I had a dairy milk. And then I went again back for my exam. So just a funny incident that I faced, but this can happen with you as well. So we have kept our belongings in the locker. We move to one waiting room. Once the coordinator calls in, we go to another waiting room. We can keep our food, water bottle, everything over there. And we have to wait for the coordinator to call us for actual check, like physical check of, let's say, if you are carrying any cheats, mobile or anything, that is not allowed in the exam. Also, don't forget to carry your calculator inside. But yeah, once you step inside the checking room, they'll make you remove your jackets, everything. They also look under your socks, shoes, everything. There's a rigorous check that takes place. Next thing, they'll take a quick photo. It's a verification process. They'll make you sign a couple of documents. They'll give you a rough paper, pencil, and then you'll be asked to step inside the exam hall. Now, once you step inside the exam hall, there will be a cubicle. There will be a desktop in front of you, a keyboard, a mouse, and a cubicle, closed cubicle. And at some centers, or rather all centers, they also give you some noise cancellation headphones. So if you're someone who's getting irritated when someone else is typing or there is some noise happening, you can wear those headphones as well. During my time, they were orange color wireless headphones. Not sure what kind of things they are using right now. But yeah, that's pretty much your exam environment. Coming to the break wala part, let's say during your exam, you want to take a break. All you have to do is raise your hand. The coordinator will come to you. You have to tell them that you want to take a break. They will accompany you to the end of the exam hall. Then you can go out, take break, enjoy, do whatever you want. But once you click on start exam, your countdown kind of starts from 3 hour or 4 hour, whatever is the duration. I don't recall actually right now. But your counter starts. For whatever time span you're outside, the countdown doesn't stop. So whatever time you're spending out, you lose it on your exam. So make sure that you don't lose more than 5 minutes, 10 minutes. Another interesting thing, you have initial 3 hours. If you complete the MCQ exam in less than 3 hours, let's say in 2 hours 45 minutes, the additional 15 minutes gets added to your case study section. So if you're someone who needs time for writing case studies, make sure that you close your exam early. One important thing, there can be an instance where your PC stops working. 1 in 100 might face this issue. But let's say PC kind of hangs over there, your countdown timer stops, any technical glitch can happen. Do not panic. Just simply raise your hand, call the exam coordinator, show them that this is an issue. Make sure that they have noted it down, they have noted down the time, incidents, everything, and make sure that if the issue is not resolved immediately without any loss of time, then you get another free attempt. For that, you need to ask that Prometric center to send a letter to IMA. You also have to send an email to IMA saying that this is what happened. There was a technical glitch. I want another attempt. If there is loss of time or the system is not working as per expectation. If there is no loss of time or no loss overall, then you can continue. The coordinator might refresh or do a couple of things to make sure that the exam starts again. If it doesn't start, you might have to come again for the exam. 1 in 100 technical glitch can happen. It's a CBT exam, computer-based exam or computer-based test. So you have to kind of agree with that. So that's it pretty much about scheduling your overall exam experience. What all things you need to be careful about. Once you step out of the exam, it is the best feeling in the world. Don't forget to call your teachers, mentors who helped you. Give them a feedback that what kind of experience you had during the exam. Were you able to open the case study or not? And to give you an idea that when you can expect your exam result, well, it is from the last day of the exam month. From that day, last day, you have 42 to 45 days, which means let's say you appear for your exam in January 2025. So the last day of January month is 31st January. So from 31st, you can take approximate 42 to 45 days. Let's calculate, 28 days in February. We have remaining 14 days. So 14th March, 15th March, tentatively might be your exam result day. There's a good chance that at times your result is even released on 10th March, 12th March. At times it can go up to 18th March or 20th March as well. Completely depends on IMA. So they do take a flexibility of a week, not more than that. So from 42 days, it can come down to 35, but it can go up to 49, 50 days as well. That's the usual range I've seen. And one important thing, due to any discrepancy or any potential issue, if you face during the exam day and you feel that this is really unfair, I want to escalate this, I want to complain about this, do reach out to me. There have been instances, not from just my students from other classes as well. I won't take the name, but few big classes where students faced a lot of issue and somehow their admin wasn't ready to help them. So I actually took up charge. I had escalated even 4 to 5 cases with IMA, got a positive solution. One candidate I still remember, there was some name discrepancy. She reached out to me. We wrote an email to IMA officials in India. No one answered. Then I escalated it further to US officials. And I've been with IMA for 4 or 5 years as a volunteer. I was also a US committee member. So I knew few folks in IMA. So I kept on escalating it up and up and up to VP level. And one day suddenly we got a positive response saying that, hey, here's a free attempt, go again, because there was some technical issue with Prometric and IMA. So, such issues can be resolved. I cannot guarantee. There is one thing I can guarantee you, that for sure I will escalate it for you. I'll make sure that the complaint is registered and you get a response from IMA regarding whatever issue you have faced. And once again, all the best for your exam. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to like, share and subscribe. I'll see you in the next video.